I was going home and listening.
Well, I know. Don't give us the history of your interest.
The inner city blacks.
Oh boy, we are back once again. Another Tuesday here in the Roach Motel. It is the Josh Potter Show. Welcome one, welcome all. And I had quite a great weekend in Las Vegas, Nevada. We're going to talk all about it. Oh boy. But I want to let you know first and foremost, next week I will have ticket links announced, dates in Chicago, in Indianapolis, Philadelphia, and in San Diego, plus hopefully a couple more. So make sure you're following along on Instagram at Josh_Potter, on Twitter at J_Potter. Keep subscribing, keep rating and reviewing. All of the things that you've been doing so generously. Continue, please. And today, the woman who took me to Las Vegas...
Took his virginity.
Took my... Well, I mean, I've been there before.
I took his...
my second... this was the one where I could actually, like, do it right.
Yes.
That's how sex goes, too, right? The first one's terrible. Then you got to do it again.
Wait, what did I ask you where you thought I was asking you how you are in bed?
You asked me, because I told you I'd played the saxophone.
Oh.
And you asked me if I'm good at sax, and I go, I don't know why it came up with sex. I was following a different conversation, and I thought you asked me if I was good at sex, and I was very like,
we don't really do that.
I was like, I guess. Yeah.
We don't betray each other that way.
No. And of course, by the way, it's Annie Lederman. Say hello, everyone out there in podcast land.
Hello, everyone out there in podcast land.
I was telling them to say hello to you.
I know you were, but isn't that cute?
Sometimes I wait for claps. I go, oh, it's my guest, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm like, oh, man, I'm bombing. I forgot there's nobody here except Ryan Sickler's picture. As you
There's a
out.
Very aggressive Ryan Sickler picture where he looks like he's judging us, honestly. He's like squinting his eyes and staring. It's like, you know what, Ryan? Fuck you. Fuck you, Sickler.
Yeah,
I thought you were my friend. Why the fuck are you casting judgment down on me?
Well, I'll tell everyone at home it's a large picture of Ryan holding a football like this. So he's doing like a mean mug face with the football out. But we can't see the football because there's a monitor in front of it. So it's just him looking over the monitor.
He's just mad at us. Like we said, like a really bad word in front of his kid.
Yeah, it is a real judgy face. I don't want to look at that anymore. Now that you pointed that, I've never noticed it.
Listen, there's benefits to being semi-blind.
Yeah. The lights are usually bright enough where I don't even notice.
I will. It's not Ryan the whole time. It's just actually a picture of your father disappointed in you.
I could replace it with one of those. I have plenty of pictures of that.
I actually would love to see a picture of your parents. Oh, wait, I've seen your mom and your sister.
Yeah, I've had my parents on this podcast randomly. I had Stavros on, and I had Stavros talk to my dad in Greek.
Oh, I like that.
It was fun and weird to hear both of them have an actual conversation in Greek.
Did you understand it?
No. I took Greek lessons as a kid for like 2 seconds.
What a little shit you are.
I didn't want to learn Greek.
I was asking Como se dice straw at the place today when I was getting coffee. You don't want to make people feel comfortable in your own home?
Not in my home. I want to be comfortable. That's my fucking home. He moved here. He's learning English.
Yeah, I guess it helps him if you do it.
Yeah, it's not like my mom speaks Greek and she managed to marry for a little while.
She was like, I'm so sick of this fucking language. What is he saying?
Of course, by the way, you know Annie from Trash Tuesdays, a podcast that comes out the same day as this one. So after you watch this, you can go see her on that podcast.
That's right. I don't care. I don't give a shit which one you see in what direction. But
no, me neither. Watch mine on Wednesday. I don't.
But I do think that we complement each other perfectly. So I can't imagine why our podcast wouldn't.
No, of course. It's a very fun podcast, and I can't wait to do it someday.
You guys can see our chemistry together in...
on Meanspiration.
Well, also on Meanspiration, I will say it is one of the funniest episodes I've ever done. I don't know that I've laughed that hard. It's at the misfortune of another, but...
Do you know what's funny is us trying to re-explain this story to people has fallen flat every time.
I don't care because I go back into it. It's like having PTSD, but for a good thing where you just keep repeating it and you relive it.
Try and explain it to people because I have a hard time even like nobody looks at me like, oh, I can see why that's funny.
We were trying to explain a story about a friend of ours who had a horrible accident.
Well, that's the thing. We were talking about it before the podcast started rolling, and then when it started rolling, you had asked me like, oh, who was your, like, we were talking about a show in New York where I had to get like 5 people to vouch for me, and one of them was this fella. And the second I said his name, we started laughing. because we were like, oh, we can't talk about
Because
this.
we know
Yeah.
something horrible happened to him. Honestly, just go watch the episode. Just Google us together on YouTube. But you can see us, I was going to say, in San Francisco.
Oh, yeah, no, that's right. I forgot. San Francisco, April 15th and 16th. Annie is headlining Cobb's, and I will be along there as well. I'm wearing a hat. San Francisco hat. I wore this on purpose to remind me of that.
That's great. And
Oh,
Nine
yeah.
Inch Nails, was that to remind you of when the Nine Inch Nails guy came to the backstage of Doug Stanhope's show?
I wasn't there. Nine Inch Nails wasn't there.
Yes.
Not the night I was there.
There was a 9-inch man. There was a man there.
He was 9 inches tall, and he was me. No, I wasn't there that night. I was there
Are
the
we gonna
night
talk about your seat?
Mike Kroger was there.
Oh, yeah, which was pretty amazing. Now, I'm collecting people. And here's the thing. If you guys don't know who Mike Kroger is, get a life, okay?
Get a life.
Get a fucking life.
You don't know Nickelback?
From Nickelback, which is such a get for me. I'm in the green room I was opening for Doug Stanhope at the Comedy Store in the main room. And it was a fun ass main room, a great
Hang.
green room.
Cool
It was a
hang.
good green room. But so we walk in, we meet the guitarist he's the guitarist, right?
Mike Kroger is Chad Kroger's brother. Kirsten, can we get a instrument in which Mike Kroger contributes to Nickelback? I do believe he is the guitar player, but I am not certain. But
Like
he
if
is
you
the
called
brother.
but if you called like a bassist a guitar player, would they be mad at you?
Probably. He's like, no, I'm actually the bassist.
Well, I think he's probably got given so much shit.
I know he's not the drummer, I don't think.
He's the bassist. Okay, he's the bassist.
So he's the bassist. Yeah, that's good that we clarified. Because I think Chad plays rhythm guitar, and then they have like another guitarist, and then he plays bass. But yes, he is. I didn't know this upon meeting him. We talked to him too, and we watched another comic be like, aren't you like a punchline?
Oh no, I'm going to tell you exactly what it was. It was Mark Maron. Mark Maron walked into the room like Mark's a prick. Like he's a prick.
I kind of like
No,
that stuff.
I loved the whole situation. I live my life to try to help people heal from their traumas. Mark walks in and pokes at that fucking trauma, and it helps him heal his own. He walked in to one of the guys from Nickelback. Now let me
Mike Kroger.
come on. He's in Nickelback. You know what the situation is.
Everywhere he goes, he has to hear this whole shit.
Everywhere. He's a punchline for everything. And to even step into a comedy club knowing that he will probably be in every person's set at some point. And this is years into his career.
Yeah, 20 plus years.
So anyway, so Marin walks in and he goes, "Oh, Nickelback, you're a punchline. I have jokes about you." Like just like so, and just like
And he was looking at him like this,
just
kind of like, you're
like
Nickelback?
he was looking at us like Ryan Sickler's looking at us right now. But I was trying to explain to Mike. I was like, listen, he is saying that, and yes, there's a reality to that. But I listen to Rockstar every morning, like since we had Alexa. It's like, Alexa, play Rockstar, and she wakes her ass up. We get pumped up. I mean, it's an anthem.
Not only that, I was like over there too, going like, I used to work in active rock radio. I played your music all the time. I actually enjoyed it. I used to go on the air and defend you.
I know, it's like, are we helping? Are we hurting? But it's the truth. And
I almost think he didn't believe me at first. He was like, sure. And then I was like, no. I know all your albums.
I had to send him a DM. I was like, listen, since I've had Alexis, I've played your song unironically. Maybe it started out ironically because,
Of course, but that
then
was
it
the other
turned
thing
so
too.
Good. I was like, this is so good.
The contrarian in me wants the deluge of comedians. And I think it started with Brian Posehn, who had like a joke about Nickelback. Once like there was this like, it was trendy to shit on them, kind of like it was trendy to shit on Guy Fieri or whatever. I used to go on the air and I would say like, how dare we take anything away from these guys? They've had extraordinarily popular songs and they sell tickets galore.
Yes.
Not only that, they've created anthems about fingering girls, which I love.
Yes.
Every song, if you listen to Nickelback thoroughly, there's one song on every album about fingering a girl in a car. And we should champion those people. And not only that, Rockstar is a song that kind of came true for them.
And it's coming true for us.
No, sure. But then remember we were listening to it, the entirety of it, and it got kind of sad at the end. We're like, oh. We were like, we didn't listen to
Well,
like,
I was
the
trying
third
to really
verse.
like break apart what because it's very entertaining music, and it's really like they've been how long have they been? 30 years. Like they're great musicians, so it's
sure.
like very talented. So I'm like, what is it that is like being made fun of. And then it's like, I was saying, there's no like metaphors. Like everything's like,
yeah, it's literal.
I wanna.
Yeah, there's no, at least that song especially.
It's just like really spelling everything out for you.
Right, that song there's no metaphors at all. There's no analogies.
Also like, I'm a big Papa Roach.
Me too.
And I just, it's like, I'm so tired of these people taking these like fucking popular people and then trying to trash them. It's like such but I went up to Mike and I go, my boy at Meth Syndicate, Eric, sent me this great Nickelback shirt. It's the New Balance sign, but it says Nickelback. So I go, oh my God, one of my favorite shirts is of you guys. It's Nickelback, but it says New Balance. And he goes, we get no money from that. And I went, oh yeah.
You know the plight of that.
I was just talking about that today.
I used to have, I think it was a meme or something, but I definitely saw a shirt of it where it was Nickelback, but they were like, look at Hanson or whatever. It was like, suppose the Hanson logo was under it or something. Or maybe it was the other way around where it was like Hanson and it was like, here's Nickelback or something like that. But you were going to comment on my seat. I don't want to leave that one on.
Well, you said, I made a joke about someone being 9 inches, and then you said, I am. And I was like, I actually didn't acknowledge you as being short until I saw that you're in a booster seat.
I have a bit of a padding on these chairs, I will admit.
I just want
without it, I'm like here.
But I
feel like I'm like up like this.
I actually like don't have padding, so this is me just regular.
You're taller than me.
Just sit up straight though.
I don't like sit. That's the other thing. Like now I'm sitting up and I'm here.
You're Mark Marining yourself right now.
I like hiding behind the mic like this.
You're Mark Marining yourself.
Everyone too out there, they're like, move the microphone. We can't see you. What do you want to see?
Wait, you know.
What do you want to look at?
We like
my
your
fucking
teeth.
face?
We like you. We like you.
Come
People
on.
like you.
No, you don't need to see
Wait, I just had
everything.
an idea. You know how like you can get like celebrity voices on your ways and on your like different directions, like where you could have like Kevin Hart be like, make it laugh. You know, like
yeah.
Sorry if that was a racist black accent, but it's hard.
I didn't hear.
I don't know how to. I don't know how to live in this new world. But it's trying to live, trying to be, just trying to be in the moment, spread love and joy. Sometimes a black accent pops out of me.
But who would you do?
I was just thinking, what if your negative thoughts, you could program like Mark Maron to be like,
oh, that would be dope.
Idiot.
I thought you were going to say Mark Maron on my GPS where he's like, turn here, of course.
Yeah, like what's wrong with you?
Like he just yells at you.
Starts screaming at you.
Or you already make the turn and then he judges your choice. You're going to turn here?
We do need Mark Maron's face to be in the picture you're staring at us. We had so much fun. I have soup with me. I have like a shot of, you know when they have like
Weed
a cayenne.
grass?
Yeah, exactly. One of those sort of things. I'm doing everything in my power to recover from I will say one of the greatest weekends in my life.
I had the most fun.
I don't know how to, I'm trying to, I always have fun, so I don't want to disrespect the fun I've had before by saying this is the best weekend of my life. But people ask me that all the time. They go, where's your favorite place to perform? Or I'm like, wherever I am. It is always fun. When Josh is there, it's such a fucking bonus. It's so good. But this was to be in Vegas performing, living our dreams.
You know what was special about it to me, and I've told this a couple of times to people so far, that club, Wise Guys in Las Vegas, is for the people that live in Las Vegas. And the old trope in show business is when you go to perform in Vegas, it kind of blows because it's just tourists or high rollers or something at a casino.
Or low rollers.
More low rollers who are bitching about how much money they lost.
Yeah, they're either up or down, but they're never in the present moment. They're never there with you.
And they're just there to watch a show because they got bonus show tickets for sitting at a table for 17 hours. They're bringing a lot of,
depending on the casino, like I used to do in Tahoe, it would be like elderly people like bringing in their oxygen tanks and smoke. I'm like, I don't think you're supposed to have those together. And like everyone had a support dog and no sleeves, and they needed, like, they would always be like kicked out screaming things about Vietnam. Like it was like, it was always this, and I was an opener at that point, like brand new, starting out, definitely getting gigs before I was comfortable on stage. There was a woman I opened for who was so clean.
Ooh.
And they had me opening for her. And
did you have to be clean? Because when I do a casino, when I've done casinos in the past opening, they would say, you have to be G-rated. I did a casino with Big J. They're like, you have to be G-rated.
So funny. And then
they told Big J they have to be PG-13. And Jay's like, I'm not doing that. And
yeah, I would walk.
Right.
I would walk.
We walked people. I mean, I was clean and I walked people.
I rolled people because they're all in wheelchairs because they're fucking Army vets. And thank you for your service. Sorry that my joke hurt your feelings. It wasn't about you. But my jokes were not like, I opened for Craig Shoemaker when I first started. He was like, come do this like theater for me. The Love Master.
Yeah.
And he does jokes about the light the light switch being a clip, like stuff like that. But he was like, you need to be clean, which I kind of understand because Rob Schneider pointed out to me once. He was like, if you go too crazy, you kind of like, you get all the shock value of the show out, which, I mean, I understand that. I'll do whatever whatever.
Also, it's
my
like,
job
though,
to
who
make
gives
them.
a shit?
And it doesn't matter in the end. I'm still friends with all these people and we all like love each other. But when he was like, I was literally 2 years in, he goes, you can't do any dirty jokes. So I just did 7 minutes. I stretched one 9/11 bit for 7 minutes.
It's not dirty unless you count the dust.
And let's just say there were bombs going off. It was a wreckage and we'll never forget it, just as we will never forget 9/11.
But that Club Wise, guys, is something special. Electric atmosphere. And I don't know, because like I said, I told the folks at home, I was in Portland 2 weeks ago, and that show was electric. And I don't know if I was just like riding the high of that, and I just used it to like harness this other energy. And now I feel like I can just keep it going. But it's like, it's so crazy how awesome those shows were. Was that me or was that you?
It was me, sorry.
Thank God it wasn't
Jeremiah
me.
Watkins.
What could he want?
Who cares?
Who
cares, Jeremiah? Why are you interrupting me? It's not about you.
Oh my God, I've had this cough, by the way, since Vegas. Like, smoking inside the casinos, even though...
so awesome.
But it's like, there's something weird about, like, I feel like I should always be smoking, and smoking indoors isn't as satisfying as smoking outdoors. Because I'm always like looking around like, oh, I can't ash on this carpet. Meanwhile, that carpet has jizz and fucking blood and everything else on it.
Jizz?
Yeah,
Which part of the casino were you in?
I mean, those casinos have...
You were hanging out with my boyfriend the whole time. What were you guys doing? Where was the jizz coming from? Oh, he had so much fun to do. Todd and I can't stop talking about it. We love
Oh my God, it was such... Okay, so not to like jump around or whatever, but gambling with Todd was the most fun gambling I've ever had.
Well, I told you, I was like, between me and Todd, you have the perfect friend.
Yeah, it's true. It's like the two of you combined are like, I can go here. And Todd likes sports.
Yep.
But like, it wasn't just, and the folks at home know I love sports gambling. I don't typically like the table games. But in this case, Todd was like, oh, roulette is like this. It's like you pick people's birthdays. It's just vibes. And I was like, all right, I'll give it a whirl. I took out like $100 and I hit black 8 like 2 spins in. And then I'm like, all of a sudden this lady, the dealer or whatever, I don't know what they call them at roulette, dealer or whatever, she starts like stacking up the chips and it's like, and I'm like, are all those mine?
I like that you think that there's a different name for each game.
I don't know. They're not dealing anything. The roulette person.
She's
the
ruling.
spinner.
She's spinning.
The spinner. Yeah. Which means something completely
I
different.
know. Is that where the jizz came from? Now we know where the semen came from, guys. You fucked my boyfriend, bitch. I'm coming for you.
But yeah, I hit right away, and then we just kept winning. And then the best part of the roulette, like I walked out of the casino on the final day. We were only there for 48 hours. I mean, it was such a quick trip, but it was like so perfect. And I think I slept 4 of the 48 hours. And on the final day, we went to the Wynn Buffet. That was like our big finale before we drove home.
We waited for 2 hours in the
2 hours in the...
But what's fun is you're waiting in a casino line, so each person kind of takes
Well, yeah, we did
turns.
shifts going back and forth. So.
I was like, I want to hit some more slots.
Right. And so Todd and I went to the roulette one last time. I took 50 of the now $700 I was up. And I go, let's just fuck around a little bit. I won like $350 more.
It's amazing.
And I walked away. I go, do people lose at roulette? I don't think people lose. How do people lose? If you lose, you're not smart. Something's going on. You're not having the right vibes.
You're not having the right vibes and you're not knowing the time to leave. Because I know sometimes I can feel like, because I'll do it with slots too, where it's like, obviously slots are a different game, but I like the idea that there was like a neuroscientist that came in and designed these things. Like, I like that someone knows the human brain so well that they know how to like put the sounds in certain places and they'll make the seat vibrate. I'm like, holy shit, maybe that's where the jizz came from too. But it's like, it's just so fun. But it is to me, some of the fun is, can I beat the manipulation of this game?
Well, see, your thing with the slots is something that I can't like even relate. I mean, like when I walk in there, I see the slots, they don't do anything.
I hear the sounds. I stand behind people while they play.
You were like a puppy who was walking through the slots and they're like,
oh my God, I'm always looking for the right.
It. I feel like Todd had to like guide you.
Todd does guide me. He pushes me through. He just holds me like my shoulders and just pushes me through things. But
because otherwise you'd be at every one of them.
He also just texted me. He's like, I still have your credit card. I'm like, oh, I know. Todd like holds all my stuff. Todd's my wallet.
Yeah, we had I can't believe you found your sunglasses that one time. We had a sunglasses mishap.
Oh, every time I go to the casino, I leave a designer $400 pair of sunglasses. And every time someone has it. One of the people working has grabbed it and put it away for me, and then I tip that. I mean, it's just a joy. You know what it is? When I'm in Vegas, I like to give my money out.
Yes.
So, and I do think I get a return. I know I feel like a gambling addict, and I've lost before, but not really. I really haven't, to be honest.
I mean, I've lost in slots.
lose,
I've lost at
moments,
blackjack. I have never played roulette before. This was my first time playing
it's
roulette,
so
and
fun.
I walked away with a G basically. And I'm like, why would I? I said to Todd at one point too. I go, I might just quit comedy. I mean, this is like, why do people have jobs when roulette exists?
This is where it becomes the problem.
Well, I want to find out. I'm going back again this weekend with Tom Segura, and I will be doing his shows at the Mirage. So catch me at the roulette table and see if I have the same sort of story next week.
I'm actually so excited for them to catch you at the roulette table.
Yeah, so people are going to be like, it's 4 a.m. and he's just smoking alone at the roulette table.
Bring your good energy, though. There's no room for any pessimistic. No. This is good vibes. We're winners, okay? You'll never hear me talk about losing. I only speak of my wins.
It was so wild, too. The Saturday night, we played a whole shit ton of roulette, Todd and I, while you guys were at the slot machines. And
don't say it like that.
No, you guys were at...
No.
What did I say?
The girly slot machine.
No, I said you guys were... I didn't even say girls.
Oh, the men were at the...
They didn't even know I said girls. I said guys. I said you guys. I misgendered you.
Yes, but you had...
You just know that you were with girls.
You misgendered. Well, our friend that I brought my friend Michaela, who I don't know what her title is yet, but she like filmed stuff for me and is the greatest. But she is like this tall, pretty, half black, half Asian, or I guess third, and she's all of the things. But she's
don't try to draw up that pie chart.
Yeah, it's an interesting. Let's just say there's a lot of different flavors of that pie, but everyone's trying to stick their dick in that pie. I mean, I would go to the bathroom and just men would just approach. I'm like, what the hell? Some guys. She was wearing like a kind of a tennis. People like, guys are coming like, you play tennis? Like, leave her alone.
There is like a weird thing in Vegas because we were there very late every night at the casino, and one night my friend Lindsay met us there, and even like her being like, she went to the ATM alone, and there were guys just like, it's like guys are trying to gamble on, can I fuck this girl? Like, it's like they're like, I lost all the money. Like, now I'm going to try and put 10 on fucking this girl.
Yeah. And you are like, I guess, shoot your shot. Like, I'm not like, don't shoot your shot, but Michaela's very good at being like, I'm good. Like, she's like, I'm good.
Right.
To the guy, but he was trying to mansplain. I was watching the whole thing, how to put the money in the machine, how to put the ticket in the machine. And she's like, I'm good. And I'm like, what an asshole that he thinks you don't know how to do that. Then I look, she's using the wrong slip from the wrong casino.
So she wasn't good. This guy was literally just trying to help her.
She was completely wrong.
It was actually one of the people that works at the casino. He was like, I don't think you're figuring it out.
No, he was being a nightmare. He was like going over like he was going to teach her how to golf. Like he was like wrapping his arm around her. Like he was going to place her hand in.
Yeah, he's guiding her hand into the thing to put the ticket in.
Come on now.
But it's not like...
Because there's prostitutes, right?
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. Because
Michaela, I don't think gives off that vibe, but I guess I don't really know prostitutes, so I don't know the vibe they give off.
Well, I'll tell you exactly. One time, Tom and I went to a casino in Vegas, and this is before like people would mob him, so we could go walk around and like hang out. And he was like, let's look for hookers, not to like have sex with, but he went on like a ride along one time with a person that he knows that's a cop, and they did a ride along in Vegas where they like scouted out the hookers. So
oh my God! So it was like a Where's Waldo?
Yeah, so he like knew how to find him, like knew how to spot him. And
Where's a Waldo? Oh my God, you guys, we have a new game. Let's play that next Vegas.
Yeah, that's what I was doing too. There was parts of me that were doing that already. I was like, oh, that's definitely a hooker.
I think the thing is like we'd have to go up and find out, but we'd just give them $20 at the end. Go, oh, we were just checking, and give them $20. Like, did you ever go to the Bunny Ranch?
Here's the thing: there's a ruse involved.
Okay.
And so oftentimes the signs are, is there a gorgeous woman late at night just playing slot machines, like, or just sitting at the bar completely alone?
And poor Lindsay really is that person though.
Well, that's why she was like, all these guys keep, I'm going,
she's like so hot. It's like, you're so hot for you to be, you know what it is? It's like unclaimed pussy wandering around. How could this be happening?
Not only that, they think because they see a person, that's the sign. Like usually a person alone means prostitute. But here's another ruse that they do is oftentimes they use the very pretty ones as bait. and then they like lure you somewhere else, and then that woman's and it gets you all horned up, and you think like, am I gonna fuck this chick? This is crazy, and you have no like sense that they are a working woman, and then all of a sudden they're like, all right, bye, and then another one who's not so great comes up to you and goes like $400, and you're like, well, whatever, I'm here.
But she's missing her front teeth. You know, she's gonna give you a nice gummy blowjob.
Sure, I don't have any sort of discrimination towards things like that. I wouldn't want to necessarily pay for something like that, but. I don't have a thing for prostitution.
You send them an invoice?
Prostitution.
I gave you a good night.
Yeah.
You owe me. I gave you respect you've never gotten before.
I should get paid for this.
I could see you being actually. Have you partaken in the paid for puss?
I have one time. Tom bought me a prostitute in Amsterdam, and I do not enjoy it because here's the thing. I am like the thing that gets me going is when they're into me.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm like, well, this woman's so hot and she's into me. I really fucking tricked this one. You know what I'm saying?
Don't you kind of wish you were the other way though? You'd have so much opportunity.
Oh my God.
Like the guys that are simps that just want a girl to fucking shit on them. It's like you have just like every option in the world. No.
I am a simp, but in a different capacity. But you're a simp in a
beautiful way.
Yes.
Because I have learned more and more. Like you are so sweet and so nice. Or like bring flowers to someone, send them.
To my detriment, back in my 20s, that was bad.
But it's still good. But even though it's bad in your 20s, it ends up being really good when you're older because we just like, we get so beaten down by the guys that are like, you fucking bitch. And then we're like, for some reason, on our knees blowing them. I don't know what it is in your 20s where it's like your dad you're still like wanting your dad's approval. I don't know what it is. I don't know why it goes from
That's what incels are created from. And that's why like I saw that wave happening and I was a person who fought against it. I go, well, this isn't forever. This is just the way girls in college act, but I'm not going to change who I am because of it. And I've come out on top. But I will say I am jealous of the guy who can just fuck a hole and jizz wherever they want. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? That's
I know,
what
but those guys are so bad. Honestly, because those guys like...
Well, they're dumb.
Those are the ones that chase.
Smart.
They're the ones that chase. They never get enough. They cheat on their wives. They do like... They like ruin their lives because they're chasing because it's so empty. It doesn't.
Well, there's that element of it, but there's also the guy who's just a dunderhead, and every friend group has this guy where they can just fuck a hole and jizz.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's what I feel like prostitution is. Sure, it's like, you know, it'd be like renting a Ferrari or something. Like it's a wonderful car, but at the end of the day, it's not yours. And I don't know. It's like when I had the prostitute, I caught her like looking out the window. You know what I mean? Like, and it's just so sterile. Like they wear condom. Like it's like I have to wear.
And you're right. There is
a condom. They're wearing gloves basically, and like I don't know. It was so blowing me with a condom. I'm like, I paid money for this. I'd rather just like a free dude blow me with no. You know what I mean? Like I'd rather a dog blow me than fucking. It was
like if you can train your dog to blow.
It's not even a fucking blowjob with a condom. It's like. I don't know. It weird. Doesn't seem sexual at all. It's like...
it's like you just sucked a condom's dick, not my dick.
Yeah. You're just sucking on a condom. You could do it with my penis in it, without it.
I had a fucking guy once who was like, he wanted to... When he ate me out, he was like... This was when I was like 21. By the way, pure, beautiful 21-year-old fucking angel. I was a go-go dancer, but it was a deceiving job. I was
because I've seen you dance.
Quaker girl.
How do you dance and go-go dancing?
I danced.
What's the style?
I did a lot of like flipping my hair over.
Oh, so it's a lot of like.
Yeah.
I hit the microphone with my face.
Now, when you said you've seen me dance,
I've seen you dance,
and it's not a sexual.
It's not rhythmic. I didn't.
Wow.
You have a couple of moves, but would you say that you are a go-go dancer?
I would say with the right amount of at that point,
alcohol.
I was drinking.
So you think your sobriety has you've lost it?
Well, I think what it is no, I don't think that I had it. I think that I could have a glimpse of it when my inhibitions were down because I think dancing is all about, like, I'm not feeling the music because I hear Mark Maron's voice in my head being like, you stupid bitch, everyone's looking, you stupid bitch.
Why is now?
Well, because that was what we were going to do
the
before.
The generic voice.
It was actually like a great callback.
That was. No, yeah. No, I just was saying, I'm like, do you really hear Mark Maron in your head?
No, but I mean, can you imagine? But it's like, it is like all like worrying about people looking at you and stuff. And now that I know you were looking at me, I will be more mortified to dance.
No, I love you and I don't give a shit how you dance. No, but
here's the thing. I am...
It's like you saying to me, it's like, you're bad at seeing. I'm like, I know.
I'm sorry. You're
I'm not comparing it.
That's how bad I am at dancing, that I'm as bad at dancing as you are at seeing.
It wasn't comparable in terms of how bad, just in terms of just like, I wouldn't care.
Listen, there are a couple things that I get really insecure about.
Dancing.
And I don't know why. It's like dancing and singing, which is very weird because like me singing in front of a group of people is my face is hot. I'm panicking. I can feel blood like boiling up through my head. Like it's so, I don't know why, but I always wonder, like, is that something that can be taught? Because Esther's a good dancer, and she's always like, it's
dancing
just
can be taught. There are
choreography.
Classes.
I know, but I can't go around other people.
You could
I
do
need a one-on-one.
You could get a private dancer.
How am I not going to get molested in this situation?
Get a private dance instructor, a girl.
You think the girls can't do it? The sexist?
Do you think they can't molest you? Is that what you're saying?
Listen, I don't want to brag, but
A couple girls tried.
I've been tricked. I've gotten
By
girls
women?
have gotten a couple knuckles up in me.
What?
No,
Really?
I think it fingered homophobia into me. Well, I wasn't like molested, but I was tricked over a span of maybe 6 months. Not tricked. I had seeds planted.
I want you to divulge that story if you want to. But I want you to know that I wasn't saying that in terms of like I thought you were a shitty dancer. I've heard you say you don't enjoy dancing. That's why I was like, oh.
No, there was a rhythmic comment.
Yeah, I don't know.
You said I've seen. You can't. He's fucking not blind enough to not see that. My one friend I thought I could dance in front of without any shame or judgment.
No, there's no shame.
Is now giving me. No, you're giving me the Ryan Sickler look.
No, there's no shame. I just thought I was like, because you said you're like, I can't believe I was a go-go dancer.
So you guys can see me in San Francisco. Anybody want to open for me? There's a gaping hole in the front.
Today's Josh Potter Show is brought to us by Noom Mood. And mental wellness is so important, dude. I gotta tell you. I mean, I used to be one of those people like, oh, mental wellness, whatever. No, it changes everything else in your life, every single aspect. So it's proper to try and make sure that you are mentally well. And Noom Mood is doing everything they can to help you with your mental wellness. I mean, you can take a journey with Noom Mood one step at a time. And that's the best way to approach it, really. Their guided approach teaches you the power of shifting your mindset in just a few minutes a day. They even have a team of dedicated coaches to help you along the way and be a support system. Also, like for me, for instance, I just want to be able to have like a rested mind. My mind gets in a tornado. I'm all over the place, and Noom Mood has been helping me so much with that. It's backed by science. The lessons are based on psychological principles that teach you about your relationship with stress and anxiety. One size does not fit all when it comes to mental wellness, and you can navigate the program at your own pace. And you'll also have the support of the coach along the way, and perhaps a couple of coaches. So worry less and feel happier right now with Noom Mood. Sign up for your trial at Noom.com/Josh. That's NOOM.com/Josh. Oh boy, friends. This past weekend in Vegas, boy, was I betting on a lot when it comes to a bit of college basketball going on here in March. And now with DraftKings Sportsbook, you can join the action as well. I had Creighton this past weekend. I had them winning. Or not winning, I had them covering, and I had them with the over. And boy, was it electric to hit that parlay. I think I had a few others as well, and I did it all through the DraftKings Sportsbook and got to watch the games in Vegas. Nothing better than that feeling of winning some money on some games. And we've got more action this weekend as well. So new customers, if you haven't signed up yet, you can sign up to DraftKings Sportsbook right now, and you can bet $5 on any team to win, and you'll get $200 in free bets if they do. If they win, you win, my friend. And if the sportsbook isn't available in your state yet, well, you can still join on the college hoops action with DraftKings Pools. Everyone can play for free pools all March long for a shot at a share of over $250,000 in prizes. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code Josh Potter. Bet $5 on any college hoops team to win, and you'll get $200 in free bets if they do. If they win, you're going to win, my man. With promo code Josh Potter this week at DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 and over. Restrictions apply. See show notes for details. But you were...
No, but it was because I was drunk. But I struggle with rhythm, and I want to learn. And please, if you guys have any tips on this, or I was told by a man I was dating once who is a musician. But he was older and a little condescending. He said you cannot be taught rhythm, and I thought that was like a defeating way of looking at life. I didn't think, there were a lot of things I could do, and now I'm a squirter. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's things happen you don't know. I always feel weird to just sex talking with you.
What do I care?
But
yeah, but no,
my friend.
That's wild that also women have tricked you into you getting fucked by?
Well,
me?
she had a short hair.
Okay.
She looked like a boy. I was friends with her for 6 months. She's great. Loved her as a friend, but she would just say these little things. It was my drinking time. She'd just go like, "You never thought of whether you were gay or not?" And I'm like, "No, it's never been. I'm so straight. It's literally never crossed my mind." And she goes, "Well, don't you think that might be internalized homophobia? Don't you think the fact that you've never allowed yourself to even consider it might mean?"
That's funny.
And I went like, maybe.
You
Like,
believe
like,
that? Yeah.
Well, I was like, maybe, because I was like, why haven't I like considered it? But I was just thought it's because it just wasn't like animalistically. I just wasn't looking at this thing
Sure.
as something that I wanted to like
Doesn't make
be inside
my clit tingle.
or like, pound bumps or whatever the hell.
Bumps.
Fist
That's
bump.
like I am not homophobic by any stretch, but I couldn't imagine enjoying fucking a dude. I just don't, not my cup of tea. It'd be hilarious though if a guy was like, "Well, that makes you a fucking homophobe. You should try and fuck me." I think I could be coerced as well.
She said it. She said it very kind. It was very like she was almost like the Sherpa. Like she was Sherpaing me into my lesbianhood. Like she was like coaching me, and I was like, "Thank you so." Like I'm so like whenever anyone wants to help me, I'm like so grateful. I'm like, "Oh my God, thank you so much."
Well, it's that whole she's trying to turn you, or at least be like, maybe you're bi or whatever.
And why wouldn't she try? Like there's no shame on her because honestly, like I never assume that I'm the first one someone's attempted things with.
No, that's probably her thing.
They probably I always thought with like the Louis thing, it's like because some people had been totally down and thought it was funny and cool when he jerked off in front of them.
Right.
That's why he thought it was okay to ask women
Other
to do
people,
it.
yeah, he started getting a little
Like
more
it's not like the first woman said yes.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like the first woman was like, "This is hilarious."
a group of them said yes.
Yeah.
And he was like, all right. And then you start asking a little too many people or whatever,
And then you're like, yeah, maybe this wasn't the right hour to ask. And maybe, but it's,
But there are both lesbians and gay men that get off on trying to flip people. Not flip them, but just get
how
a straight...
great must that feel?
Just get a straight person to fuck them. Yeah, of course.
Think
it
about
must
it
feel
if you're
even
like,
better than...
I'm the one that let someone realize that they wanted like fucking the tuna special. Come on.
Right. That is like probably the part of it, but also just the act of getting you to go like, I'll give it a whirl. That is enough to get them off too.
But it took me 6 months of heavy drinking with her. We worked at a restaurant together in New Mexico.
You just drank so much that you never remembered that she hit on you every time.
Well, we would like, she started like, I would like make out with her and stuff. Like it started working because I loved her. Like she was my best friend. She was so funny and so cool to hang out with. And we used to take the register tape like while it was in a, still like wrapped up, like a thick roll of it. And we would just like write each other like stories and just like things about our, it was like really cute. It was like this like little kind of like
Interesting.
rom-com.
Wild.
But I mean, I was looking at it as like a friend. This is my friend.
Sure.
And then, but I think she was like maybe falling in love. And I don't begrudge her that because I do think it was like fun and flirty and everything. And then we would get drunk and like really wasted. And I was at that point casually dating a bartender at the bar like 2 bars down from us. So we would go there after our shift. We would go over there and we would sometimes like make out there and he would get really mad at me because he was like pretending he didn't want a relationship with me. He was like one of those guys who didn't like, but I know he had a good opportunity there. I think he had deeper feelings for me than he wanted to admit.
Still.
And so he would get like rageful when I'd be like, and then he was like, "You're taking advantage of her. Like you're leading her on." And I'm like, "She's leading. She's the lead. I'm not the lead. I'm literally like, just like, here, like open, like listening to her and stuff." So then eventually we end up like going home. He was throwing ice at me. He was chucking ice at me.
Like angrily?
Yeah. And then the next day, maybe I had left like something there in my wallet or something I'd left at the bar. So we go the next day during like when he's like getting the bar set up, and he comes out and I'm teetering on the edge of about to hook up with this girl. And he's like this Brazilian jiu-jitsu guy, like, and he was just like, like everything was very like tough. And he was always getting in fights.
Macho guy.
He was macho.
Alpha.
He was alpha.
What up?
He's great. I actually like have talked to, because I've told stories about him before, and he like, I didn't know he's like a comedy fan. So he'll be like,
so
I can't believe you keep talking about my dick. And I was like, oh my God, I didn't remember you existed. I forgot you were a person.
He's keeping up with you.
You are a cartoon at this point. I've told the story so many times that you are cartoon form in my head. But
he has a nice dick?
Yeah, his dick was great. It was fine.
Oh, okay.
But
That's what I thought you were saying.
But I don't remember what I was saying about his penis or whatever. But anyway, so he while we go there during the day to pick up whatever I'd left, he's like, I gotta show you guys the funniest thing. He brings us into the office and he shows us 2 girls, 1 cup. Okay? And this is when we have no clue if this, it looks pretty real.
Right, it's around the time it came out.
It looks,
Everyone had
it's
this
like
moment.
Blair Witch, where you're like, is this like a documentary?
Right.
And
it's like Blair Witch, where you don't know. Yeah, is it real? I think
no,
it's
but
real.
honestly, my friend's mom didn't told us it was real, and we believed her. We were 14.
So did I. I had the same Blair Witch experience.
And then we came back, and her parents had set up like rock people.
Oh no!
And it was very, very scary.
Yeah.
And they also let us do acid, so they were not good parents. But
you watched the 2 girls, 1 cup with.
So we watched 2 girls, 1 cup, and when we walked out, my lesbian friend goes, "You see?" And I went, "Yeah." She goes, "Are you sure you're not gay?" And I go, "I might be," because it was just like it was too. I don't know. It just made me so upset.
Yeah, but why would that make?
Because she was just like, "Look at this douchebag." She was like, "Look at this douchebag. Don't you want to live like? Don't you want to like hook up with someone like me who's like sensitive and stuff?" So then we got drunk again, and we went back to her place, and we were like making out in her bed. Like I was always making out with her in public, like it was just like fun drunk shit.
Yeah.
And so then we were like making out in bed, and then she like, she was like, I guess like fingering me over the pants and stuff, and I was still down. I was like, this is good. But then when she like put her fingers in, I got like bored. Not like not like bored like any insult to her or anything, but like it just didn't feel, it felt off and not correct and like not something I wanted to be doing.
Sure.
So I always say I think it fingered homophobia into me because I was like, this feels, I don't believe in God, but I don't think he'd be into this.
This isn't natural.
It just
it didn't feel natural.
And what I realized now is it was not aligning with what I really wanted. So I said, please remove. And we went out and I was like, can we just smoke a Newport Light? We had Newport Lights. I was doing throwback week, I guess, that week from middle school. So we just smoked Newport, or maybe it was Marlboro menthol lights, and we just smoked some menthols outside, and it was fine. And
was she disappointed by your lack of enthusiasm?
I think she was just like seeing what could happen, but she did end up moving to Albuquerque after that. So maybe.
May I make a proclamation on this podcast right now?
Yes.
If you are a guy, and you are in a relationship, or you're dating some girl, and she wants to make out with other girls and you get jealous, I fucking hate you.
He threw ice at us.
I fucking hate those guys.
He chucked ice at us from the bar, behind the bar.
These guys who get jealous when a girl is like fucking around with other girls, what are you fucking jealous of? It makes no sense.
But he was like, you're hurting her feelings. But I think what he was doing was just projecting what he was feeling about me onto me.
I don't know, but I've seen it happen with people so many times. So many times. I've, some of my OnlyFans consultees that I consult with, they're like, I can't do girl stuff because my boyfriend will get jealous. And I'm like, what? What? I cannot.
Now, I wonder with Todd, maybe we should call Todd and ask him, but
sure.
I'm not interested in opening my relationship in any way.
No, that's the thing. Here's the difference. It's not opening your relationship if it's just making out at a bar or like a little bit of this, a little bit of that. And also like most of the girls are like,
Todd, if I looked over at Todd was like making out with the guy at the bar, I would be laughing so hard. I wouldn't be horny at all, but I would be squirting out of my eyes with laughter.
The inverse is oftentimes not as common, but there are girls who are
as
like,
a power move, I used to always try to get I had this like pretty flamboyant friend who was really cute, just really funny, cute guy, just A+. And it was really fun to get guys to see if my guy friends would make out with him. And I had another gay friend that was like, they were kind of like laying in wait, like, are you going to get me some make out tonight?
That's funny.
And it was like fun. And it did make me like, in a way, of course, it's a power move. But
sure.
I think the other thing was like, how open are these guys? And because I know that's such a big deal for a guy to make out with another guy. And it was just like kind of fun to see guys just loosen up and
well, it's that whole like,
whatever.
We'll kiss if you kiss sort of scenario. And then I remember there was like, me and a buddy were in one of those scenarios like back in college. And I was like, I wasn't like down, but I was like, listen, man, if we got to do it, like, who gives a shit, right? And then I was like, what are we? It doesn't make us fucking gay. And he was all like so confused by it. And I was like, you're overthinking this by leaps and bounds. And it's just like, I don't know. I know plenty of dudes who like get upset at the idea of like their girl like hooking up with another girl. And it makes me like loathe these guys. Like, how fragile are you? Like, I get it if it was another guy completely. Like, there's something else. There's something weirder about that. But if you're in a relationship,
she looked like a guy. I think he was threatened because she did. I mean, it was weird when she didn't have a dick, even though I knew conceptually she did not have a penis. when there was no dick there, it was weird because she was giving me like a sensitive, soft, masculine thing. And it was really fun to kiss her because it was so much like softer than like boy kisses. But what I was going to say is Todd looks at lesbian porn.
Yes.
Now,
me
we
too.
don't watch porn together.
Right.
That's just not our thing.
Sure.
I mean, who knows, maybe when we're like, after we're married or whatever. But like, I'm wondering what his reaction would be.
I'm sure he'd be chill with watching. I mean, as a guy who loves lesbian porn too,
think he would.
if I had a girlfriend, I would be like cool with watching.
Yeah.
That's why I don't understand these guys who get jealous at all. Like, I just
Can't abide such idiocy any longer.
I don't appreciate it. I get so angry. I'm like, why are you with someone so close-minded and such a fucking insecure piece of shit?
Just knowing why you had your phone close.
I always
because
have
you
it.
wanted to do the sound effect.
I always
But
have
just to think
The inner city blacks.
But I'm just, how long you've been trying to push that is so funny. How long I've been interrupting you where you've wanted to push that.
I did have the wheel spinning.
He had it for I just talked over him for so long that
was there anything?
Can I have a Josh Potter like appreciation moment?
Sure, please.
I just need you to know I love you so much. It's so fun to travel with you. I like could cry thinking about it. You are just like a shiny, bright light, and you're so funny, and you smash the shows, and it's just such a perfect. I feel so good traveling with you. You're the right amount of like kicking rocks and having fun. And I don't need to like worry about you, or like we just hang out when we hang out, or we don't when we don't. We have a good time. You get along with everyone.
Perhaps my best attribute is I'm fine to have around.
But you're so funny. We laughed the whole time. This was excellent. We experimented with some new substances.
Oh my Lord.
I think we found a dream.
Well, you have the Vegas trope, which is cocaine, and I'm trying not to do that ever again.
Coke has never given me that good of a story.
Right, and I've always felt like immense shit the next day, to the point where like I'm just out of it. I'm unfunctional. I cannot even like get out of bed.
Yeah.
And I go, I don't want to. This is how I know I'm not ever going to get addicted to cocaine, because I've only done it a handful of times, and every time I've done it, I go, I don't want to do that again for months.
Yeah.
Or years. I'm like, I can't imagine doing it again. Like the people who do it, like they wake up and then they do it again. I'm like, oh my God, I could never.
Well, are they like hair of the dogging it? Because it's so painful. I mean, it's such a painful hangover.
Yeah.
And I just feel like the thing that really hurts me, I get like this sort of like this moral hangover with Coke too, because I really, really thrive on true connection with people. I love to connect with people. I love like exchanging energy. Like that is like, I literally do comedy to like blast energy and exchange it back. And that is like what I'm in it for. That's why like I think about when we start doing theaters and shit, it's going to be like, we got to maintain the connection somehow. Like, I don't know how we're going to offset the fact that it's like so many more people.
You'll do it. You'll notice it's like the energy is just more. It's like your doctor. I mean, I've never headlined a theater, but like just from experiencing the laughs, it's almost like you are the Riddler when he puts that hat on and he's getting all the fucking brainwaves from Gotham City, and he's just like it's fucking awesome. But yeah, no, cocaine also gives me like that sort of like I'm depressed the next day.
Yes. Well, I think it's for me.
And
I don't
like you were saying,
think
there's no connections with people.
But I have fake ones. I talk to people all night. My jaw hurts. I wouldn't stop talking so much. And there's no, like, I remember one time in college, when we saw flip phones, I flip my phone open in the morning. I have all these new numbers and they say pool party next to them, which means I gathered people into agreeing to go to a pool party. All I could remember was going to all of them and going, this is not because I'm on coke. This is not because I'm on coke. This is real. This is real. We're having a party. It's real. I didn't have a fucking pool.
And you never talked to them ever again?
I didn't have a pool. I threw my phone into the trash.
You were going to make a pool. I thought you were at a pool party.
In my head, I thought I was going to like find a pool party. No, I was putting together, I was like event planning.
I thought you were like at a pool party, so you were like putting in like Randy from the pool party.
I was at like a metal show that my friends were putting on in a warehouse in Santa Fe, and I was like meeting all these people. I was like, we got to party in a pool. We got to be by a pool. Don't you wish there was a pool here? We got to start a pool. I'm like, and as I was organizing, I was going, it's not because I'm on coke. It's not because you are my real friend.
We are definitely having a pool party.
And then I was like, wake up with this fucking lies in my phone.
Yeah, no, it's, I don't enjoy the next day I go, you're such a piece of shit. I'm like yelling at myself. I fucking hate it. But I don't know if you want to divulge.
Sure.
I mean, doing was positively blissful, and it's not something that I like plan on doing every single fucking day, but boy, for that type of thing it was just walking in the casino just like,
you're a cloud.
Yeah.
I mean, it was
awesome. And then
You know what we should
also,
do?
by the way,
You know what we should do? We
playing
should
roulette
bleep
and
out-
winning.
We should bleep out what the drug is, and then people have to guess what it is.
Okay. Kirsten, mark the
Do you
time.
think is that a good idea?
Yeah, because also we probably shouldn't be advocating drug use on.
And also, you should always, always, always test. If you're gonna do drugs, you have to test them. This is not the time to fuck around.
Right.
Like, I mean, it really is not.
No, I'm responsible.
And
with
sometimes your drug dealer is the test.
Yeah, you make them do it
I
first.
go, bitch, you do a bump, bigger bump, bigger bump, bigger bump. Let me look up the nose. You got to make sure you see some of those little crusty bats in the cave, too. Because I'm like, no.
But also just then like sitting at the roulette table and just being like, and then just going like, black 13, boom. I'm like, oh my God, am I clairvoyant? Did I snort myself into seeing the future? But it was just incredible. And like also, I don't know what I've always been drinking endless amounts of beers, but I love beer at this point. I'm full on with beer. No more shots.
Miller Lite, right?
If you're going to buy me a drink out there, you buy me a beer because I can drink 1,000 of them and I don't get hungover.
Well,
I'm
shots
not
just take
yelling.
you, they catapult you to the end of the night all of a sudden. All of a
Yes.
sudden, it's last call, you're pissed, you want more drinks, you're fucking lying on the ground. For me, at least. I quit drinking so long ago. That's been 13 years, but I was such a fucking, oh my God.
Were
I
you
was
doing
bump.
Jaeger?
I
Yeah.
loved Jaeger. Well, that guy at that bar that I hooked up with, they had a Jaeger machine. So I would go, we'd go hook up, bang in the bathroom. And he'd give me pints of Jaeger. And it wasn't for it. I wasn't
Pints of Jaeger.
He would give me pints of Jaeger. And I would always wake up with holes in my jeans and my
Oh,
knees
my
because I would
God.
fall. It was really bad. And it was when pointy toed shoes were out.
Yeah.
And I would trip all the time on the pointy, and the point of the shoes would always be scuffed because I was literally dragging my feet on the ground.
I had a roommate who, she recently quit drinking, but when I lived with her, was kind of a mess.
Well, it's hard to be the roommate too because you're watching this go down. And you're ooh.
Well, yeah, and then also sometimes I had to I'd get a phone call where it's I'm not going to say her name. So-and-so is she just fell on the ground and knocked her teeth out and shit like that. So I'd have to help her out and stuff
I would
like
wake
that.
up and check for my teeth every morning.
She would fall. There was one time she fell so hard walking home, in the snow or whatever. And she woke up and she was like, I think my arm's broke or my wrist is broken. Her wrist was all fucked up. And she's like, I can't find my phone. I did the find my phone thing. I found it in a snowbank down the street
Oh
and
my
shit like
God.
that. It was just such a...
My roommate
She always had bruises.
Yeah, no,
you know?
my roommate when I crashed my scooter so bad, I fucking road rash all over my tits, all down, literally almost lost my nipple. It was so crazy. I fucked myself up, 9 stitches in my chin, just cuts all over my face, and then I had cuts from an earlier fall that week
Oh,
where I'd
my
fallen
Lord.
off my scooter twice. And one time I was just standing on it and it just fell over. I just had a head wound from that. And I just was this sloppy bitch, but it was repressed self-hatred, whatever. I don't know what it was, but I definitely worked through it and I have so much fun and I still partake in some other things.
Yeah,
but
no,
I don't drink anymore. But some people you can't. But my roommate, I remember at the time, my friend David was he was can you just turn the lights off? That's all I ask. And you come home and I go, I can't. I cannot turn the lights off. I can't promise that. He would find me under his bike in the kitchen. The refrigerator's
God.
open. I'm I don't know why your bike is on top of me, but
Being blackout, you can't promise anything.
right.
You know what I mean?
I can't promise and I can apologize. I can tell you I'm sorry. But and then he helped me. I had to call him when I was I fucked myself up and he had to come take me to the hospital because he was stayed over his girlfriend's house that night that I crashed. And then I would just bring guys to, he'd just deal with the fact that guys were just at his
That was
house.
the other thing. This girl would bring home guys, and I'm it's weird. It's not. This is a gender thing completely. If I had a guy roommate and he brought over strange women all the time, I'd be whatever, But then when you have a strange guy in your house, one that could physically destroy you if he was I don't know, out of pocket or something like that. There was one guy who had a fucking face tattoo that would come over every now and again. And actually, I had a comedian from New York, Anthony DeVito, stayed on my couch
Anthony.
one night.
Oh, I love you, Anthony.
He tells a joke about this, but
Oh,
it's
I
not,
love him.
The details in his joke are not the actual so he stayed on my couch and he was awoken by this roommate of mine's, not boyfriend, just some guy that was
Right.
giving her coke and fucking her. And this guy was like chopping up lines on my coffee table, and he goes, "That's my couch," and woke up Anthony at like 5 a.m. and was like, "That's my couch." So this fucking guy with it, and then he's like, "I just got out of prison or whatever," and Anthony's like shitting his pants and like watching him do coke, and eventually like the guy's like, "I'm just fucking with you," and then he started doing coke and telling Anthony about his party planning business. And
my God, was it a pool party? Because I could go into business with him. Sounds like my type of dude.
Yeah, it's just strange having that dynamic of like, there's a weird dude just coming over to fuck my
I had to
roommate.
say to I went to David one day. I go, just heads up, there's a Mexican guy in the room. And he goes, "Do you want me to call the cops?" It was the funniest joke he's ever had. He was funny, but that was like that made me laugh so hard. Should I call the cops?
I remember I was sitting in my living room watching TV.
David.
And my roommate came upstairs with like 3 dudes. And I thought she was friends. You know, she has all these friends. She's a bartender. So I thought like, for sure there's friends or whatever. So then she goes, "All right, I'm going to bed." And the one guy goes with her. And the 2 dudes are just like watching TV with me. And I'm like, "So how do you guys know so-and-so?" They're like, "Oh, we just met her tonight." And I'm like, "Oh, okay." And then I found out the next day that they were like just, what do those people call? They play music on the side of the road.
Oh, buskers,
yes.
Buskers, yeah.
And they were just buskers who don't have a home or anything. They're just...
Well, mine were bussers, so that's interesting. There has to be a B involved.
But these people were like just drifters, basically. They were like, "We're going to get on a bus tomorrow and go to the next town," or whatever. They were poor and whatever. So she would just be like, "Come stay at my house." She just invites. I'm like,
No, it's crazy.
"Well, I guess I'm going to lock my door," even though I didn't have anything. I had like electronics they could have taken.
Well, yeah.
They were white guys, so I was like, I was like, they're probably nice people, but yeah.
The inner city blacks.
They weren't them. They were white from the rural area.
They were
actually.
inner city or inner house whites.
They were outer city whites, rural whites, but
Those are scary.
Yeah, no, they were.
That's actually so scary. They have so many guns.
That's
they have
the thing.
Machine guns.
The potential of it was fucked up.
When I went to buy a gun, in like, I don't know if it was like San Bernardino or something. It was like somewhere like near here. We went to buy a gun.
Bakersfield. I don't know.
And it was just all like shorter white guys.
Shorter.
It was.
Do you think this is a gun compensation for penis?
I think maybe.
To some dudes.
I think to some. I think it depends
I'd
on what
like
type
to
of gun.
have one. I'm not saying that it's
I
bad to have
feel
a gun.
better having one. I do like to have one.
Yeah.
I had some weird things. So, but
Now
when
that
we
I'm
go
a
to get the
little,
gun,
now that I'm more mentally fit and a little bit mentally I'll have one in my house.
I'm not even like a little bit suicidal. Todd is not a little bit suicidal.
Right.
It's straight protection, and it's something that like I do. Right now we have it in a case, but it's like I do want to learn. I want to get like trained in tactical gun.
If I had one during COVID, I would have been just like playing with it. I would have been like, "What does it fit in my mouth? How far?" You know, like stuff like
You'd
that.
be blowing it. Like, is this what a blowjob feels like?
Yeah.
You'd be playing with its balls, but the balls are the trigger.
It's the fucking handle. I'm like, ooh.
With its prostate as the trigger.
That'd be funny if someone got a gun and put balls on it.
Suck it, bitch. It's like smacking it.
It's where it holds the bullets.
But when we went to get the gun, there was like a test of like 10 questions or whatever, and Todd got like not a lot right. Like, and they were like, "Congratulations.
What kind of questions?
Which direction do you point it?" Like thing like that.
You didn't know that one?
But there would be like weird like side questions and stuff. But then they ended up letting him take it again, but they like explained him what he got wrong and everything. But anyway, so when I'm in there, there's this short white man, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they have like, it's really fun to go there. They have like a picture of Biden and it's a Target. Like, it's funny. It's fun. Like, it's fun. It's like, you're leaning in, you know, it was like a good time. And we
That's
went
so
like
funny.
right after, like, you know, it's been 6 months since Trump was out, you know what I mean? Like at that point, or maybe a year, and
Right.
everyone's mad about Biden. And then it was great. It was great energy. It was fun. And so we're in there and we're getting the gun, and this guy like looks up at me, right? And the guy is like, he's a regular there. You can tell. They're like, "All right, Michael, like here's Michael," and he's trying the guns out. And he keeps like whipping them out and
Like a cowboy?
Yes, and it's so funny. It's just like this man's penis is a micro, and
They should make you show your penis to buy a gun.
yeah, I know. I think so too. I mean, I think it's very like.
Just for the pure statistics.
If you're changing your kid's diaper and you notice it's a little smaller than usual, if you catch your son, your preteen son hopping into the shower and you see it, you need to really, really, really get him into therapy, because those school shooters.
Do you think they all have micros?
I do.
I'm curious. Have you seen them? Have you come across a micro?
Yeah.
And how did they get? So, did they have an energy about the person that you came across? Did they have an energy that would have suggested micro penis?
No, he actually didn't. The guy that I hooked up with, he was always in long-term relationships, so that kind of gave it away now, like in retrospect, because he would just find anyone,
right,
and kind of stay with them. But he was actually like kind of like a little bit of a bully in the right way. He was negging correctly. We were in our 20s. It was in college. It was in Santa Fe, and he actually lived with the Mexicans that I. Oh my God, these boys were so cute from Chihuahua. But it's so funny. So we were like hooking. Okay, so I'm actually so glad you asked this. That's a funny story. But this kid had been a freshman the first year I was a senior, and I was a senior for
first year I was a senior.
I was a senior for a while, but I was a senior until I was a senior, pretty much. But so he had been like a little rude to me, and so I clocked him. I went, all right, someone's getting fucked one day. Mm-hmm. He was cute. He was a hot, mean little guy.
Hot micro.
Yeah, and so we ended up like, I don't know how it happened. We went out, we ran into each other, whatever, and he brought me back to his place. And when we were hooking up, it felt like a suction. Like I didn't see it because I was drunk, and we just started to bang before anything else, and it was just like a suction. It felt like a suction. And I was like, are we fucking? But he was like, had a crush on me the whole time. So he goes, I can't believe I'm fucking Annie Lederman. I can't believe I'm fucking Annie Lederman. And I was like, in my head, I was like, neither can I.
Are you?
Yeah, and I was like, neither can I. But then, such a nice guy, breakfast in the morning, everything was fine. Then 6 months later, I'm drunk again. And I'm like, there's no way it was as small as I remember. Like, I didn't really get a look at it. Like, I'm like,
did you think maybe just a lack of performance that day?
I just thought maybe I wasn't paying attention, like whatever. I was like, it can't be. I was drunk, and, so I went back. I also look at it like maybe it will undo some of the guys I fucked. It was so small. It's like, it undoes like a couple notches in the belt. Right. But so I go back and.
That's a myth, by the way.
It doesn't.
Yeah.
It doesn't.
No.
It adds half a notch.
We've discussed that on this podcast quite a bit. Pussies are the same size no matter how many dicks they have go through them.
Yeah. I mean, I did date a guy with like a huge, huge penis, and there was a time where it stopped hurting, and I went, oh boy, it didn't shrink.
You thought you were getting looser, as they say?
It didn't shrink.
It didn't shrink.
His didn't shrink.
No, but it's like...
No, but it goes back. I mean, it's...
With these micros, though, I'm curious... is there a telltale sign, like when you have a baby, do the babies have micro penises, like for the scale?
It looked like a baby penis, so I don't know what it would have looked like when he was born. He might have been like part hermaphrodite. He honestly might have been part hermaphrodite. Like I didn't like lift the balls and check or anything. Like I really kind of was like just trying to, because I'm pretty honest and I have trouble like I don't have Christmas
filtering
face. I don't have Christmas face. So if you give me a present I don't like, you're like, oh fuck, I got her present that she didn't like. I'm grateful for the gift, but I'm like, oh, I'm getting better at it because I'm becoming a more gracious, kind person, I think, as I get older. But so I just didn't want to like fuck around with it too much, because I do remember like sucking it, and I did like, I didn't want to not. Yeah, I had to have like all my, I had to do the okay, Yeah. But it was like, I could barely grip it over there either. And this guy was so great. There was no like part of me that was like thinking bad about him.
Did he say anything like, yeah, it's a
No, guys have done that before, but he didn't actually seem insecure. He actually seemed
It's not being insecure, it's just acknowledging.
No,
yeah, I
but
know.
That's an insecure. No. Guys have done that where they're like, oh, the head's small. I'm like, the head's small? I wouldn't even think about that. Like, that's like, you call it out. It's like why we do comedy. We're like making fun of ourselves.
Yeah, but there's a way, if you had a micro penis, you just acknowledge. You're like, yeah, I know.
But he ate me out really well. Like he was really good at
pussy. Make up for
exactly, because he had to be. And the funniest thing was, okay, so 2 things happened while he was eating me out. One, this was the second time I went back. One, I look over at one point and the door has cracked open, and there's like 7 Mexican guys that come from Chihuahua that their uncle like owns like restaurants, so they would come and work at all the different restaurants in Santa Fe, and they were so cute. They would start as busboys and they became, waiters and stuff. Mm-hmm. And they would come for like 6 months. So I lived in Santa Fe for 7 years. So I like loved these guys. I worked at like 5 restaurants with them. And, there was one David that I like loved and I hooked up with because he was so funny. He was not the hot one, but he was so funny. He was like the uglier one, but he was hilarious. But I look over, I didn't know that he lived with them. And I look over and they're all like
a cartoon?
All of their heads, yes. Yeah. All of their heads are peeking through.
You just see the eyes. It's like bing, bing, bing.
I was like, hola, ¿cómo estás? But so then that was funny. But then also when he was eating me out, my roommate called me, and I was I was living with this total cokehead. Okay, this chick was crazy. She was hilarious, but she was crazy. And her boyfriend lived with us too, and they were just crazy cokeheads. And they'd always get me to do coke with them because they knew how to do it. They would have to go, hey, do you want some coke? And I go, no, I'm good. And they go, are you sure it'll be fun? I go, okay.
Yeah.
I like second ask, I'm like, okay.
So hard to get me. Yeah.
I was like, all right, fine. But anyway, so she calls me and she's like, can I talk to you? And I think she had texted like it's an emergency. I was like, do you mind if I pick this up? And he was like, no, I don't care. So he's like eating me out, doing a fucking fantastic job. I'm on the phone with her, kind of trying to like, hold back.
Yeah.
I'm like, just to let you know, I'm getting eaten out right now. And she's like, it's okay. And she's like crying. She's like, I just got an abortion, and the doctor told me it was twins. And I'm crying. I'm like, it's so. I'm like, well, you should have had him eat you out. Like, and it was just like this full circle, like hilarious moment.
Was she saying it like, she sounded like happy. She's like, it was twins.
She was both. She was like, she was crying, laughing. She was a cokehead, but she was a funny person. So I have since seen her, and she did like watch a man physically rape me. So I get a little weird around her.
Oh my Lord.
She was like, did you see what Mark did last night? And I'm like, no, I was passed out. She goes, yeah, you were passed out, and he kept picking you up and putting you on the bed. I'm like, dude, what the hell?
Oh my Lord.
I'm like, why didn't you come out? She's like, I was scared. I'm like, bitch, you're she's like, I'm not kidding. This girl is like 6'7". I mean, she's like the tallest bitch I've ever. I'm like, you were scared of him? But I forgive her, but she has come up to me at shows before, and she still has that energy.
Oh, wild.
It's really hard. And it's like, if you're watching, girl, it's just the rape part. It's not the rest. You were great other than watching me get raped.
I have good news and I have bad news. The good news is I'm having twins. The bad news is they already
in the
came
trash.
out. Yeah.
They've been sucked into. They're in the bag in the vacuum.
Yeah, yeah, they are in a doctor's dumpster right now.
They're with pennies and hair in the bag. But it was a great. It's been a great life. I love my life. I liked my drinking stage. I just was getting a little.
You've
the R's,
yeah.
Let's just say my hard R's are the R's in the beginning, okay, for the word. And there were too many hard R's, but I realized that was like my bad. I was like drinking too much and getting myself in weird situations.
Well, here we are today, and boy, what a time we've
had so much fun, and we're going to have so much fun in San
Francisco, April 15th and 16th, Cobb's Comedy Club, right?
Yeah, Cobb's Comedy Club. It's going to be so fun. I do a meet and greet afterwards. Josh lingers. He's sometimes hanging.
Sometimes I don't. I got 2 DMs of people who were upset with me because I wasn't at the final meet and greet. I want to say thanks to some of my friends who came out. How cool is it 2 porn stars came out to you?
I love that you always listen. Josh slays, and if he's not slaying them, wait. Okay. If he's not slaying, they're girls that are gets, okay? Like, he's friends with the ones you either want to be banging or he's banging them. You know what I mean? It's like...
Yes, these two I have never done anything like that. Molly, of course, has been on this program, Molly Stewart, and Alexis Fox. We'll hopefully have her again sometime down the road. But yes, thank you for coming out. And someone was mad though because I wasn't there for the picture. So now I feel like I almost feel beholden. Like, if I miss 1 or 2, then I've like fucked up.
I do try to scream for you, like if they ask for you.
Yeah, sometimes I'm outside, sometimes I'm over
But they gotta understand, we're doing a little, like, I love the meet and greet. I do a free meet and greet where you buy merch and we can take pictures and I'll draw stuff on your merch and write personal things, but I take a long time. So Josh doesn't have, like, that's my choice because I'm telling you, it's the energy. I love meeting everybody. It's like my treat.
Oh my God, it's like, sometimes I, like, even when we go to, like, eat or something like that, where you run into a waitress or something and then it's like, the energy I get zapped from the stranger, not from you, from the stranger. It zaps me. But I am going to be announcing shows again: Chicago, Indy, Philly, and San Diego next week on the program. Keep following along at Josh_Potter, at J_Potter on Twitter, at Josh_Potter on Instagram. And we had all this stuff. I will. Hold on one second. I had all this stuff, but next week we'll get to it. News, sports, all that stuff. No. It's not. I prefer it this way. Thank you.
Okay, so guys, go back, watch Me Inspiration. Go to my YouTube channel. It's just my name, ANNIELEDER, man. Look it up. Go watch our episode. You'll see what we're talking about. It's so hilarious. It's better for you to see it. I'm not like trying to push traffic there for any other reason other than every time we've tried to repeat what we said, it's been a colossal bomb. So go watch it yourself.
No, there's no explaining it.
And then go to AnnieLederman.com/shows, and that's where I'm on tour. It's been fun. I bring Josh as much as he's willing to come. It's the dream team. Janny Lauder.
Yeah, no, honestly been such a blessing going out with you on the road. I have such a great time.
So
There's
fun.
not a lot of skin in the game for me other than like I get to have fun and I get to try new things and I get to try new things outside of the show.
And Josh has a lot of new jokes that are killing, that are
thank
so
you.
funny.
Let's not say a lot.
Well, he's got, compared to how many he usually has, which is 0, it's a lot.
No, it's been a fantastic couple of months, and I hope it continues. And again,
Trash Tuesday.
San Francisco this April the 15th and
Yes,
16th
come
is
see
coming
us.
very soon, and Trash Tuesdays every Tuesday with Kalila and Esther. And anything else?
Not that I can think of, but yeah, I guess follow my Instagram, Annie Lederman. And yeah, it's life's a party, baby.
Yeah, come party with us in San
Let's
Francisco.
live hard. Let's live hard and die old. Okay,
Yes.
let's fucking do it. Let's live forever.
And we will see you next Tuesday on the Josh Potter Show.
Thanks, Josh.